Good afternoon, everyone. Shannon Snedake from Snedaker Law here for another Snedaker Spotlight. And today we have the pleasure of having Dr. Booth and Dr. Tran of Ormond Beach Chiropractic. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks
for having us.
For coming on the podcast today. And you guys are chiropractors, right? Mm-hmm. So tell us about where your practice is located and a little bit about your practice.
Okay. Well, as the name implies, we're Ormond Beach Chiropractic. So we're here in Ormond Beach, Florida.
Okay. So where exactly is your office located?
We're located in Ormond Beach, Florida. So right off the beautiful coast, just north of Daytona Beach. Most people are familiar with, the big NASCAR stuff. So actually we're in the middle of October and bike week now. So we're just north of Daytona, about 15 minutes. We serve our local communities in the surrounding area.
Great. And do you guys have Facebook, Instagram, social media for people to find you?
We sure do. We have Facebook, we have Instagram. Our website is ormondbeachchiropractor.com. So you can find us online for sure. Kind of check out some pictures of our office.
Oh, don't forget the dance. There's a dance on there too.
Oh, no.
There's you can just see us do a jig on the Facebook. We put one up there. So COVID related. And so that's actually been a big thing, a big concern for a lot of patients, just the safety and the practices that we're implementing in practice here. So we did a little a skip and a hop on Facebook, so it's there.
Just to kind of ensure our patients that our office was safe, but in a fun way. He talked me into it. Don't check it out.
So I definitely need to check this out. I have not seen it, so I'm definitely going to check that out. But basically, it's just reminding your patients in a fun and entertaining way that you all are safe and you're implementing good policies to make sure that your patients are safe during the pandemic.
Exactly.
That's great. Well, I've had the pleasure of getting to know both of you all before today, and I think both of you are so unique and different. I know there's tons of chiropractors out there. So if you could just tell us a little bit about your background. I know Dr. Tran, you're a mom and you own a business, and I think that's amazing. So just tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. Okay. So like she mentioned, I'm a mom. I have two little boys that are 11 and 7. They go to school here in this area. So aside from being a mom, like she mentioned, I started the Ormond Beach Chiropractic, really just wanted a place where it could also be a family atmosphere. Outside of my home, I treat my patients like family. So I think we've created a really nice atmosphere here for the patients that's family related, and just love being there to care for both my boys and my patients here. We both do a lot in the community. We're very involved with the Margaritaville community here in town. It's in Daytona, just outside of Ormond, and we've kind of taken them on as family as well, and we do a lot of healthy living events out there with that 55 and up community. We have a great time doing that. I'm really involved in my church, Salty Church here in Ormond Beach. Shout out to Salty Church. And just love being involved in the community and treating the patients here. And it's kind of what I'm all about.
That's great. And Dr. Booth, you have a really interesting background. Not only are you a chiropractor, but you also have a lot of other medical training and degrees. If you could tell us about that, because I think it's just such an extra thing that you're giving to your patients and also giving back to the chiropractic community as well as the medical profession in general. So tell us about you.
So it's been such an interesting journey for me to get here today. I actually got into chiropractic when I was a firefighter paramedic. This would be year 16, which I still kind of stay involved in that world. I actually got hurt. I was training for a triathlon. I was a competitive triathlete. And so I got hurt while I was training. And so I couldn't find relief seeking, traditional medicine. And so someone told me one day, you should go to a chiropractor. And I did. So immediately got resolve when I went for that visit and changed my life. So it brought me into the world of chiropractic. And so I absolutely love what I do and so passionate about it. And in addition to having the opportunity to join Dr. Tran at Ormond Beach Chiropractic and just loving what she implemented here in this practice, and I just identified with that. And so we've partnered and come together to make this our home And we just love our patients. And in addition to just taking care of the patients and being in the community, I also have the opportunity to be an educator. So I'm an educator and still teach upcoming chiropractors and future docs. And it's just awesome to be a part of shaping the doctors of the future. And so it's just awesome, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, that's so great. And I know before we started today, we were talking about kind of the culture of your practice, and you all have both touched on it a little bit. But there's so many chiropractors out there. What do you all think sets your office apart from the other ones out there? Why should a patient come here versus the chiropractor across the street?
Sure. Well, we've talked a little bit about it, but a lot of our patients, when they come to our office for the first time, they may have tried out some other chiropractic offices at some point in their life. And both of us get a lot of comments to the fact of, wow, you spend a lot of time with your patients. You really seem like you care. You seem like you're treating me more than just a number. You're really trying to help me. Another thing that sets us apart, I think, is that we spend a lot more time at that initial visit so that we can really identify the problem, so that we can get our patients feeling better and on their way as quickly as possible. We've also had a lot of patients who have said, gosh, I've been going to a chiropractor for a year and I'm not finding a lot of relief. So we really do our very best to kind of identify, diagnose, really get to the root of the problem so that we can get our patients rehabilitated and back to their normal lives as quickly as possible.
And that is something that can be a misconception in the public, that if you go to a chiropractor's office, that means you're stuck on this 3 days a week for 6-week schedule. And, and people are so busy with work and just life that's hard to manage.
Exactly.
So your goal is to find the root of the problem and get them in and out, not as quickly during the appointment, but from a durational standpoint.
Exactly, a duration. Yep.
And I think that's just such a big thing. I think we live in a world of convenience, right? And most people are working, we're busy people. And so to have to incorporate another thing, a consistent thing into your life for a long time, it's difficult, even though it may be beneficial. And so we really try to focus on getting to the root and really getting our patients better. In addition to that, we also address any internal conditions and nutritional needs. So in addition to our musculoskeletal concern, we evaluate our patients on a functional internal medicine basis. So I do a lot of internal and traditional assessments and utilize those tools. So check in for blood work, gastrointestinal analysis. We do a lot of things to see what the internal needs are for our patients. So that supplements what we're doing with musculoskeletal health. We know that the body works as an entire unit. And so we're trying to serve all of those needs and even counsel with our patients a little bit when needed. So we try to encompass a lot of things here, a one-stop shop within our scope to really maximize our patients' outcomes.
And you talked about that nutritional and you mentioned, Dr. Booth, gastrointestinal issues, and that may play a part in what's going on with the patient. So if someone's listening to this and they're like, hey, I've been having pain and nothing I do has fixed it. Yeah. What is it that you guys are doing to try to evaluate whether there's something deeper going on, whether it be a GI issue or a nutrition?
So a lot of times it'll start with just talking to the patient about what is your daily diet looking like? Are you consuming a lot of really common pro-inflammatory foods that can cause pain, like sugar, carbohydrates, fatty meats? So if that's something that is a really common daily habit for them, we'll kind of counsel them on sort of cutting those things out and focusing on fresh fruits and vegetables and lean meats and that sort of thing. So we can start there. If that's not helping, then even delving into some blood work to determine if there's some vitamin and mineral deficiencies that may be causing some of their symptoms as well. We really try and look at the full scope. First, we examine the patient. We see what's going on musculoskeletal wise that we can see from the outside. But then also talking about at-home habits like food, like sleeping position, those types of things. We really try and look at the full picture to determine the different possible things that could be triggering the problem.
Sure. And in addition to that, one of the other things, Shannon, that I think is important is in our practice, we try to be very objective with our patients. I think that the more patients understand what's going on and we have a value and a basis to work off, they receive care better. And so, feeling pain or gastrointestinal upset, well, why do I have this? Because a lot of patients don't understand. they haven't got years of background and years of training.
Mhm.
So we assess these things and we have objective findings. We look at, people often ask about supplementation. Should I just take a multi-mineral? Should I just take a B complex? Should I just take a probiotic? Well, I don't know. So we also offer micronutrient testing. So we're actually looking at these values. Do you need this? Is this a need?
Mhm.
Because then we find these patients down the road, well, listening to this doctor and that doctor, and I'm taking this, and I'm taking this.
And a lot of
then
those
the next
supplements
thing
are
we
going
know,
down the drain,
Yeah.
literally and figuratively.
the next thing we know,
Right.
they're just on just a ton of supplements.
Mhm.
So we try to be very objective with our patients and what their actual needs are.
And I know you've all been touching on this while we've been talking this afternoon, that you look at the full picture of the patient and all the different reasons that pain could be triggered, from nutritional to something more internal to something more muscular,
Postural,
right?
yep. Mhm.
And we have this kind of goes back to the type of practice you are. But Dr. Booth, you spend a lot of time working with like the psychology of the patients as well. Not that you're treating their mental health,
Sure.
but can you tell us, what that focus is about? I know you teach psychology to one of the courses at the schools that you teach at. How does that work into your practice?
Well, it's interesting. Back when chiropractic was founded, one of the founders of chiropractic told us that looking at chiropractic cases, we see that there's typically three contributions to what we call in chiropractic world the subluxation or vertebral misalignment. And those three components were thoughts, traumas, and toxins. So in our work, if we're evaluating for toxins, which we would count for diet and things like that, environmental exposures, and then our traumas, which would be physical stress and working hard, or even car accidents, but if we're not getting resolved by addressing those, we need to go to the third component, which is thoughts. We know that we see often with patients that we can see psychosomatic presentations, where we now know at looking at long-term research that there is a correlation between psychological distress and manifestation of pain within the body. So whether we see that in the organ system or we see that in the musculoskeletal system, we know that there's a direct correlation. So we spend time also counseling with our patients to get to the root of the stress. If someone comes in and says, hey, Dr. Booth, I'm under a lot of stress. Well, what type of stress are you under? And how can we start to fix some of those variables in your life to decrease that stress, to lighten that psychological burden, and maybe to start to see some of the symptoms change or resolve.
Right. Well, that helps to build a rapport with your patients,
Absolutely.
right? So you take the time to get to know them, and then eventually they're going to open up more and be honest about the things they eat, the stresses in their life that could actually be affecting the pain they're feeling.
And that helps us either resolve it in our office or point them in the right direction to someone that they may need to go and see outside of our office. But yeah, absolutely, addressing all of those concerns gets that fuller picture and allows our patients to have resolution of symptoms. We like to think quicker than another office.
Well, and I know that, and kind of shifting gears a little bit, and you guys offer care to anybody who has pain, ongoing pain, acute pain, car accidents. But what I also know that you like to treat are pregnant patients as well. So tell us about that and what you can offer to those patients.
Absolutely. So pregnant patients are just a really special group of patients to me. Obviously, they are growing a new life. That's very special. They are having a lot of stress, possibly concerning that. They're worried, they're excited, their bodies are changing at a rapid pace. They all have the hormone relaxin kind of flowing through their body. So their joints are moving much more easily, which is good for their developing pregnancy, so their body can grow. But it also makes it easy for them to have some pain, because those joints, specifically in the spine, which was more of what we're concerned with, those joints can move in and out really easily, causing some nerve irritation. You obviously have more weight in the abdomen that's causing pressure in the low back. So a lot of reasons like that, women come to our office, and I'm able to get them some relief, even if it's just temporary throughout their pregnancy. And then once the pregnancy has progressed, their baby's born, they can come back and I can kind of reevaluate their pelvis, their back, for kind of the trauma that ensues during pregnancy, and we can start to kind of rehabilitate them, once an adequate amount of time has passed and it's safe. But it's just exciting being with them on that journey. And, being a mom myself, I'm able to relate to the aches and pains of pregnancy and new mommyhood. So it's a fun patient to treat.
Right.
And although I would like to say that I can be empathetic with those pains, I can. I'm sympathetic. But what's really cool too is that we really encourage the family unit in our practice.
Exactly.
So even when that mom does come back, what's so awesome is I had the opportunity to work with a lot of newborns. We get that question a lot too. Is it safe for my baby? Is it safe for my newborn? I've dealt with colic, a lot of colic type issues. Sometimes when the baby is coming through the birth canal, that we can see a lot of cervical trauma happen. So we can work with the baby's neck. We can see the torticollis presentation. So there is a lot of things that we can do with baby, very low force, safe techniques.
I was going to bring that up. The adjustment for a newborn baby is very, very different than that of a 20-year-old athlete that just came from CrossFit, So we adjust our techniques. We have a wide variety of techniques that we use that are vastly different from one patient to the next. So that's another thing that people say is, wow, when me and my whole family go to the chiropractor, it's crack, 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 and they do the same thing to everyone. Whereas in our office, we really tailor to the specific person and their needs.
Right. And that's so important. And one more thing on the pregnancy I want to touch on. I know that you've had the opportunity to help women who have presented with their babies being breeched.
Presentation. Yes. So we
tell
do.
us about that.
Yes. So I have had the opportunity and so far have a perfect track record. Not that there's been very many of them, but oftentimes pregnant mamas will come in and throughout our course of treatment, they'll come in kind of defeated saying, oh, my baby's in the breech presentation. I'm concerned. I'm trying this, that, and the other. What can I do? Oftentimes when I kind of mobilize the pelvis, I work with the ligaments kind of surrounding the abdomen and just kind of give some gentle nudges to the fetus. It's a technique called the Webster technique. Oftentimes when we perform this in the office, the baby actually returns to normal position. So just getting that body mobile and in a proper comfortable position helps that baby become more comfortable in the mama. So that's another exciting thing that we do.
That's so great.
Shannon, we're just kind of having a fun time here. Then, all these things, right? So what to add to, I think that's one of the things that I really enjoy about working with Dr. Tran and just being a part of this office is that I think that we also offer such different things to our patients that, a patient that comes in for Dr. Tran might say, oh, well, we need to incorporate Dr. Booth in this case, or I say we need to incorporate Dr. Tran, and people enjoy different touch. Someone may enjoy a different approach, right? Because as doctors, we are practitioners, we practice. So sometimes we end up with two different patients, or that's my primary doc, but I still use Dr. Booth and vice versa.
Right.
And so that is something we're very comfortable with in our office is just the team approach, working with each other, and we have our strengths and our weaknesses as practitioners, and we love to give what the patient needs.
Right.
We try to prioritize.
I can feel you guys have a very collaborative approach.
Absolutely.
Not only in your practice, but also outside. So I always enjoy hanging out with the two of you. It's always fun. Well, anything else that you would want the public to know about your practice and or how they could find you? Anything like that you want them to know about?
Sure. Just to kind of that we're open. We're here for any and all who need us. It doesn't matter your age, young or old. It doesn't matter if you have a little bit of stiffness here and there, or you've got some really miserable chronic issues that you need someone to get to the bottom of. We're here to check you out, to evaluate you. If we can help, we would love to. If it's beyond our scope, we'll be happy to point you in the right direction of who you need. But, we just love and welcome new patients, and we're here if you need them.
Absolutely. I would just encourage anybody that's watching and to learn for your own knowledge or whatever it is, to take your time to evaluate your medical providers. I think we live in a world now that's full of technology, and so we know so much more about our providers before we go. You are the patient. The paying patient is the boss, and you're hiring someone to take care of your body, hiring to take care of your healthcare, to do your due diligence, research the person that is going to be a part of your health journey, and know who you're going to. So do your homework on us. Come meet us. Come in for an evaluation, consultation, get to know who we are, to make sure this is the right fit for you. and that we can help you. And that's another thing we like to do, is just sit down and talk with the patients. Are we the right
Sure.
fit for you?
Exactly. If you have any questions, if you're just considering chiropractic, you've never been to a chiropractor, if you have any questions, feel free to email us, reach out to us, call our office.
And what is your website again? Because we all want to check out that dance.
I don't think that's on there.
What's the website?
They're trying to hit that jig.
No. I don't want to see it. So our website is ormondbeachchiropractor.com, and we're also on Facebook and Instagram.
Great. Well, thank you both for joining me today.
Yeah, thank
It
you
was nice
so
to have you
much.
guys.
Absolutely.
Love hanging out
Always
with
good
you
to see you. I hope you all have a great afternoon. Shannon Snedake from Snedaker Law for another Snedaker Spotlight.